Hey guys, Sean from Note Cycles. Today I'm going to be doing an install with the Rockford Fosgate PMX-HD9813. Now this unit is actually really cool. It is completely plug and play, ready to go right into your bike. Your 98-13 bike, that is. So some of the cool features about this is it's IPX6 rated, 3 RCA pre-outs, a 3-inch full color display, comes ready with auxiliary and USB, as well as Sirius satellite radio control. Now this head unit is fully plug and play. It'll use your factory Harley-Davidson connectors, as well as your factory antenna. So now we've gone over some of the features of our Rockford Fosgate head unit. We can go over some of the tools necessary to complete the installation. First, we have a Phillips head screwdriver, a T27 Torx, a 5/16 Allen, a pair of cutters. We're going to need panel removal tools, as well as some wire ties. Now this is to remove the front fairing on our 2008 Street Glide. You may need some different tools depending on the accessories you have on your bike. So now that we've gone over the tools necessary to complete our installation, let's go ahead and get the front fairing off the bike. So as we begin disassembly of our 2008 Street Glide, we have 7 total fasteners that we need to remove to release the front fairing. On ours, we have 3 Phillips head holding in the windscreen, and then we have 4 T27s on the inside of the fairing. So I like to start by having something to cover up my front fender, whether it be a blanket, a towel, a fender protector. So we're gonna start with that. And now we can go ahead and grab our Phillips head screwdriver, start releasing the 3 screws holding in the windscreen and the top of the fairing. So we can remove this piece and then slide off our front windscreen. So now we have our front windscreen off. We can move to the inside of the fairing. So again, we have 4 T27 Torx to remove. First one that I'm going to remove is right here. So now we can move to the other side and remove the upper T27 bolt. Now that the 2 tops are removed, we'll move to the inner bottom part of the fairing and get those 2 T27s removed. And then we'll move to the other side. And now we have one last T27 to remove in the lower part of the fairing, so let's get that out. So now our fairing is fully released. I'm going to show you how to get it up and off of your bike next. So now all 7 of our fasteners are out. We're going to just gently lift up and tilt, revealing our headlight plug. Now that you're just going to gently wiggle off. So now our front fairing's off. We reveal our factory radio. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get all of my plugs undone off of the factory radio. Easiest way to do that is with some sort of panel removal tool or a small flathead screwdriver. Stick towards the back, lift up, and then just wiggle it out. Then we can go ahead, this one has a CB, we'll just remove the antenna out, get it out of our way. Same thing with the bigger power harness. Lift up, wiggle it out, and remove. And then because this one has a CB, we'll have to go ahead and remove this one as well. So that one you're going to push in on both sides and then just remove. Finally, we have our antenna that will just pull straight out. Now we've unplugged everything out of our factory radio and CB. You may not have a CB, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. But next we need to remove these little support wings from either side so we can access our bolts that are actually physically holding the radio in. So we'll do that next. Removing our front fairing supports are relatively easy. T25 Torx, 3/16 Allen. T25 is on the speaker. So go ahead and just undo that one. And then go ahead and get that 3/16 Allen. So that gives us the ability to move the support out of the way. Now we'll remove this side, starting with the Torx. And then the Allen. So now we have that out of our way. So now we can start removing the 4 bolts that hold in the factory radio. So now we have to remove 4 bolts to get out the factory radio. They are kind of hidden. One is here and one is directly behind. I found the easiest way to go through is there's a hole in the side here. You can go straight into the first one and remove it. The second one, you kind of have to lift up on the inner fairing support and then go into the back there and you can get it. So let's go ahead and get those removed now. Now you want to be careful not to drop this inside. So when you have it most of the way out, just try to slide it and grab it. So now we'll go ahead and remove the rear one. Now that these 2 are out, we have 2 more to remove. Same process as on this side. You're going to go through the fairing support and then through the back. So we'll go ahead and get those out. So now all 4 bolts that are holding our factory radio in are out. Easiest thing to do, just grab and slowly wiggle backwards with maybe a little push on the front and slide it straight out through the front of the bike. So we have our bike disassembled, our factory radio out. It's time to install our Rockford Fosgate PMX-HD9813. So very simple install, 100% using the factory wiring. I'm going to go ahead and just like we took our factory radio out, this one will go right back in the same way. So slide in between and just past. And then slowly push in, making sure it's locked in. And when we want to line up everything here and push it in. So once we get it lined up, we want to make sure we grab 2 of our bolts. So that one started. So once you get it started, just tighten it up just a little bit, making sure that the radio is not going to slide either way. So next we want to go ahead and plug in the new radio. So first we'll start with the antenna, plugging that in. Then go to our 35 pin connector, plug that in, making sure we hear that click. And then we can go with our smaller connector on the other side, making sure we hear that click. So now that everything's plugged in, we have a couple of other things. We have our Sirius XM adapter. If you chose that, go ahead and plug that in and get the antenna run. And then we have our USB input. That's going to be a choice of wherever you want to put it. It comes with a nice little grommet that if you so choose to remove your power outlet or drill a hole in your fairing, you can do that. We're not going to do anything with it as of now, but we are going to go ahead and give it a test, make sure it works and turns on. So let's do that now. So I have audio, that's a great sign. I'm going to go ahead and test my handlebar controls. So I have volume up, volume down. I have my presets. So let's check. Yep, I have auto seek up and down. And then I have source, my AM, my auxiliary, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, which is not plugged in, and back to FM. So now I know everything works. I can go ahead and start putting it back together, putting all the bolts back in to hold the new radio, and then put on our front fairing. So because everything just plugs right into the back of the Rockford radio, we don't really have anything that we need to clean up or put away. We do have to remember that we have a pigtail with our RCAs and our auxiliary, as well as our remote output. And again, the USB, you can run and mount that anywhere you so choose. So now we can just go ahead and bolt our radio back in. So I can go ahead and get that done. So now I got my 2 tightened on this side. We can go ahead and get this side all done. So now our Rockford radio is fully installed and tested. We can go ahead and start putting our front fairing and our windscreen back on. So we're going to start the reassembly of the bike. We need to first put our inner fairing supports back in. Again, remember the longer screw goes into the speaker. Get that kind of started by hand, and then our 3/16 bolt will go into the metal part of the fairing. Get those tightened down. Grab our T25. Tighten our speaker back in. Now we'll move over to the other side. these tightened in. So now we got both of those tightened. We can go ahead and grab our front fairing, get the headlight plugged in, and get it mounted back on the bike. So now we have our front fairing. We need to remember to plug in our headlight connector. So plug that in, making sure it clicks. And then we'll want to kind of hold any wiring that could potentially be in the way, and then just gently slide the front fairing back into place. So it'll kind of just lay there. So I'm going to grab the front windscreen and the trim piece, kind of get that on and situated. So we're going to slide our front windscreen into position, get our trim piece into position, grab our Phillips head screwdriver, and just get them just started for now till we get everything lined up, in but not completely done. So now we can move to the inside of the fairing and get our 4 T27 bolts into that. All right, so we have 4 to get in on the inside. I'm going to start with the upper one here, get that tightened up. We'll move over to the other side. And then we'll move to the lower part of the fairing. And then finally, the last one. Now your bike is completely reassembled. You want to make sure, tighten your windscreen up and test your radio again. So let's just tighten these up on the windscreen. And we'll just turn the bike on, confirm that our headlight works and our radio and everything is still good. So our headlight's on, radio's on. And we have music. So now that installation and reassembly is complete of our brand new Rockford Fosgate PMX-HD9813, you can go out, enjoy your next ride with your upgraded audio and feature set. If you have any questions on this bundle, please visit us at notecycles.com. And as always, guys, have a blast out there.